Let's first begin by launching Adobe Illustrator CC. We're going to start with creating a checkerboard and learn how to use the object menu to transform. Create new document and go to print. Keep it at letter and make sure on the right panel that you make the dimension in inches, the unit of measurement in inches. It'll be 8.5 wide, 11 inches high, and obviously portrait orientation. And you hit create. And now you're looking at the page, and fit in window in this program and all the Adobe programs is Command 0, which is what we're seeing now. And when you do Command plus, it will zoom in. Command minus will go out. And for this lesson, let's go to the View menu and show rulers. And this way we'll be able to locate our first object. Take your black arrow, this is the selection tool, and with the selection tool, select this tool, the rectangle tool, and you're going to come out onto your page and click. Type in 1.5, hit the tab key, type 1.5, and click OK. Now we've created a square, and as you can see, it is right now with a black stroke and a white fill. And over here at the bottom of your tool panel, you'll notice that the stroke is indicated as white, and if I click this, it brings up the stroke, which happens to be black. So at this point, that's fine. Now I'm going to the black arrow, and that's also called the selection tool, and you're going to place your mouse on the square and you're going to bring it up to the top left corner, and you'll notice I'm looking at the ruler at the top and the ruler on the left. It's about 1/2 inch from the top edge of the page and 1/2 inch from the bottom, from the left side of the page. All right, now we're just going to do a simple exercise to show you how to quickly create a tessellation, and that way you'll understand the concept, and then we'll do the same exact thing in order to create the Pegasus. So go up to Object, Transform, Move, type in 1.5, Tab will take you to the next field, type in 0, Tab again, and don't do anything, keep it at 1.5, Tab again, and everything is fine, and hit the preview button, and it shows you what you are about to accomplish. You're going to take the square that we made and move another one right next to it. So at this point, since that's exactly what we want to see, you hit copy. Then you hold the command down and hit D, D, D. And that is what is called power duplicating. And you have now created your first row of squares. Now I'm going to click outside while I'm in the selection tool, and I deselect the objects. Now the next step is to select all of these objects, and we're going to make 4 more rows and create a checkerboard. So in order to do this, I'd like you to do a marquee select, where you take your mouse and you draw a fence that touches a part of all the objects. When you release the mouse, you've selected all of them. I'm going to click outside and show you another way. You can click the first one, hold down the shift, and do the next one, and go like that. That takes a little bit longer. So I'm going to click outside, and let's have you do the marquee again. So you press your mouse down and drag across and select all of the squares. And now that they've all been targeted, you go to Object, Transform, Move. This time, we don't want horizontal, so we place 0 horizontal, and you hit the tab, and here let's go 1.5 going down, hit the tab again. Now, as I did that, you'll notice since the preview is checked, you'll notice that the row will indeed go below the first row, and that's exactly what we want. If, however, it had gone above it, then you would have had to change the dimension here to a minus. But at this point in this program, the 1.5 works fine, and it shows you that your row will be placed under the existing row. And then you hit copy, then go Command D, D, D. So now we've created a tessellation where, as you can see, there is no negative space, and in your Blackboard folder on tessellation, please read about how this all started, and it came from tessera, and think of tiles and how tiles are applied onto a floor with no space in between the tiles, and that's exactly what we have just done here. Now, in order to show you how to use to select things, let's select every other one. So I'm going to go first one here. I'm going to hold the shift down and I skip one and I do the third, the fifth, and then I go, as you can see, I'm going to be making a checkerboard. Okay, now at this point I want you to become familiar with the stroke, the swatches panel. And the swatches panel is accessed, any of these panels are accessed by going to the window menu, and here you can see swatches is already checked. Whenever you are in any of these programs, all of the panels can be opened up by going up to the window menu. Now I have selected all of these, and I'd like to bring the fill in the front, which is at the bottom of your tool panel. When the fill comes up, I will now make it a color. So just for illustration, I made all of those blocks red. And now I want to, let's make the other blocks another color. Now, rather than go to each block again and select them, I'll go up to the select menu, and I'm going to select inverse. So it selects the other ones in our checkerboard, and now we'll make it into, let's say, the complement of red is green. And besides doing a checkerboard, you also get to see the kind of vibrating effect that you achieve when you have complementary colors. Now, I'm not happy with the green, so I'm going to go Command Z and undo that. And let's make it a color that's more soothing, it doesn't vibrate as much. Let's just make it into, let's go to a gray like that. So here is an example of a checkerboard, and I just wanted to show you how you can quickly select as I did here. Now, in addition, I want to select all of the blocks in my checkerboard, so I'm going to go Command A, select all. Now, I don't want the stroke articulated. I don't want to express the stroke on each one, so I'm going to point to the stroke, and I'm going to hit the None button, which is right below it, like that. So now I'm going to click outside, nothing is selected, and I have a checkerboard and your first example of a tessellation. Now, in order to prepare for the next phase of the lesson, I want to do Command A and select all, and then I want to point to the first one and hold down the Shift key, click on it, and that deselects it from the group. Now I'm hitting delete, and I cleared everything except the very first square, and we are back to square one, which will set us up for the next part of the lesson.